For more on how President-elect Trump might go about trying to stop the surge of illegal migrants and drugs, let's bring in South Carolina GOP Congressman Ralph Norman. He sits on the House Rules, Financial Services, and Budget Committees. Kind of interesting, Congressman. You know, Donald Trump is not even president yet, but it seems like the situation at the border is already starting to turn around.
Well, they really are, John. I mean, people know the reason they voted like they did and got the House, the Senate, and the White House with President Trump. They know what he'll do. They realized that the 4 years he was president, he turned this country around, his most prosperous years, and then to go under Biden, who with this border situation is completely his fault. It was done intentionally. And, you know, they're blaming now that it was bad for politics. It was bad for the country. And Tom Homan, I know him personally. He's spoken to our group several times. He doesn't play. He understands. And he's the right man at the right time that will get the job done for the American people. And every state now is a border state, including South Carolina. The fentanyl they caught in California and other places, the same thing has happened in South Carolina at different times. So it's a welcome relief, and he's putting people in place that can get the job done.
One of the problems that's taken place at the southern border, you've had almost 9 million illegal immigrants come across, and the overwhelming numbers have simply occupied the Border Patrol. They're so busy processing people and giving them court dates that might be years down the road that they can't actually patrol the border.
And that's why the morale is so bad, John. You know, they don't know how many people that are let in this country illegally. You know, you hear 10 million, you hear 15 million. What we do know is the ones that were tracked, we have over 600,000 that have known criminal records. 200,000 have been caught in this country and are awaiting trial. Look at the dollars that this country doesn't have that it's going to take just to catch what has been an intentional act of invasion by this Democrat administration. And I think that's why Tom Homan is the one to get the job done. And President Trump is doing this in all the agencies. It's not just that one.
Jose Ibarra was convicted in the murder of Laken Riley in Georgia. Bret Baier famously asked Kamala Harris before the election whether she owed Laken's family an apology. She never really answered that question. But how responsible is Kamala Harris for the situation at the border right now?
Well, get this, John. She was the border czar. She came in as vice president and was going to be the border czar. Well, the border czar let everybody in from over 160 countries, criminals included, and there's no empathy for her actions. You know, the Laken Riley is just the tip of the iceberg of others, children who have been raped. There are over 400,000 children that have entered this country without their parents, and you don't know where they are now. And it's just it's a tragedy, but there's no empathy. She's not going to apologize. She's the reason that has happened anyway. And, you know, thank God she's does not have a chance to be head of the free world anywhere, because she doesn't deserve it. And her policies are the reason this country is in trouble with the illegals today.
But President-elect Trump has promised mass deportations. A lot of people say that is simply cruel and inhumane. What do you say?
Well, it's cruel and inhumane what happened to Laken Riley. It's cruel and inhumane the fentanyl that's killed hundreds of thousands of our young people. It's cruel and inhumane for the violence that's happening all over this country. So, you know, I don't take that's normal for what they're saying now. I serve with them. Power is the only thing they want to get and maintain, and it's just not going to happen. And so I say that's all hogwash.
But has President Trump, incoming President Trump, has he overpromised, do you think? He says he will, you know, clean up the border starting on day one.
Well, look what's happened since he hasn't even been sworn in. January 20th is over a month away. The fact is, people realize the 4 years he was in office, he did everything he said he was going to do. This country experienced success at every level, and he will do it now as he did it then, and they trust him. That's why they put him back in office.
Vice President Harris visited the border famously a couple of times during her presidency, but it didn't appear to make much difference in the situation there.
No, it didn't. And the 2 times she visited, I was told she had the Border Patrol agents clean it up, and very few, they didn't really, if they had wanted to do anything, they would have done it. But day one, when they took office 4 years ago, they basically opened the gates to this country. And now we're having to deal with the results. And but President Trump is the one that can get the job done with it. The sanctuary cities will be history, and those who harbor criminals and illegals that invaded our country will be at risk, and he will take them back, and it's not going to take him that long.
Congressman Ralph Norman, Republican of South Carolina. Congressman, thanks.
My pleasure.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.